You know, the one thing that I really respected about Nino is Nino would never tell you to go do this piece of work. He'd always come with you. You know, he was no punk. I mean, and a capo, they don't even need to be there. I mean, they're so far away from it. You know, I mean, that's their thing. You know, they could put 200 shooters on the street, you know, and they're like not involved with it. Nino, when shit had to go down, he'd come with you. You know, I mean, he was a bad motherfucker. He was the toughest motherfucker I ever knew in a mob. Period. And you could talk about Sammy the Bull, Frankie the Chico, you know, Frankie Dapp, Carmine the Doctor. You could talk about any of them. Nino was there with you. You know, he wouldn't let you do it unless he was pulling a fucking trigger too. And you know, it's like I said, I had a love-hate relationship with him, and that was part of the thing I loved about him. You know, he'd never, you know, we went down to do a piece of work one time, and he used to have the stash downstairs in my grandmother's building with all the guns and shit. And, you know, we were walking down the stairs, and he just looked at me and he said, "Hey, man," he said, "if you don't want to come with me on this one," I said, "No, man, there's no way I ain't coming with you." And he said, "All right, cool." And I mean, he didn't have to do that hit. He had 30 guys, including the Westies, including the DeMeo crew, that could have done the hit. But no, Nino was there. I think that in his mind, all right, the way he thought, he was such a man that he had to do the work. All right? I mean, even when it got to a point where he didn't have to do it, he was that hardcore where he had to do it. You know, I loved him for that. I loved him for that. He was no punk. Nino be out, he was a street guy, man. That's what he was. Fucking Nino owned the street. You know, that's the way he looked at it. You know, and I always loved him for that. And I always love him for that. You know, even today. I mean, he's dead, but, you know, he was hardcore fucking gangster.